YouTube, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage here live, and I'm going to open the comments so I can see what you all are talking about this morning. And it looks like we already got some comments rolling. So who all's here today? We got a bunch of people. Elephants won't salt your land after they kill you. Well, that depends. If they've been eating a lot of salty peanuts and they kill you and then they crap everywhere, then you might have some salt all over your land. So how about that? How are y'all doing this morning? Hope you're doing well. See True Louise, El Presidente, Jeffrey, what is it? Cash, Yo, random Dutch guy. Sextus is here, so we're definitely allowed to get started. He's got to be one of the most important characters in this campaign. Oh, okay. Sextus says he's been in here warming up the audience for me. That's nice. Regaling us with his tales of conquering in Britannia, no doubt. So, yes, good morning all, good morning. So, ready to get this thing started. I do have, right after this, another Attila live stream. I wanted to do some battles in the Age of Charlemagne because the multiplayer on it's pretty good, and I haven't visited the Attila multiplayer in a while. So, we're going to do that, and I think I just attacked Leptis in order to be able to save my game. So, I'm going to have them just start building some siege towers, and I'm going to continue the siege. They might very well come out against me. I'm going to bring this army up to reinforce just so that we don't get ganged up on too hard over here. So yeah, we'll have some holdings in Africa. This one is most likely, we're going to see a rebellion at some point in this province, I'm sure, but we'll deal with it as it happens. It'll probably be the same thing in Britannia Superior. So, yep, we managed to get the 2 settlements here, which is good. And Sextus will get some pretty good replenishment on his men. The biggest thing that worries me is if like a huge stack of Caledonians or something actually doubles back on me here. It could be a big problem. Something to be worried about. The Swabians are here in force, and another thing that worries me is I want Camelodunum, and I don't have movement points with either one of these armies. So hopefully they do not take that settlement. I guess I'll forgive the Swabians if they come up here and get some of this other stuff, though really, honestly, I don't want the Swabians up here. I wanted to conquer the whole isle. But at this point, you know, betraying the Swabians would just be pure stupidity. They have a huge help for me right now, and when the Huns come, it's just another bunch of armies for the Huns to chew on, other than just me. And it gives me the potential to be able to wear them down. And as soon as I have worn the Huns down, and the timing looks appropriate, it won't be right away after getting the Huns, but once the timing looks appropriate, I'll betray the Swabians and definitely take back all the land that was once Rome's. You know, I'm not gonna stand for that. So yes, I will make Rome great again, and to steal other political slogans. We're also going to build a wall and make the Quadians pay for it. Many of you have actually suggested that I build the wall out of dead Quadians. I like this idea. And no, when I make a political joke, I'm not stating who I vote for or anything else like that. I'm just making a political joke. I do that quite a bit. And, yeah, don't read too far into it because there's not much to read. All right, so let's see. A critical failure. Great. My guy got wounded. I was trying to get that agent leveled up so that he can actually help produce corruption, but his failure is complete. The Saxon fleet over here could pose a bit of a problem, but I'm going to go ahead and keep approaching Britannia with that fleet. We'll probably eventually need more fleets over here. We have a bunch of money to spend, too. We need to spend that money. I'm guessing that Sextus will spend a decent chunk of this episode going to just basically going through the process of rebuilding his troops after such a bloody fight. So, let's see here. All right, I think that we are, yeah, I'm just trying to think where I want to build. Let's pull up my provinces scroll. There are a couple provinces. Africa is suffering negative public order, though that should improve because we have the auditorium and other stuff coming, and plus this religious building, so I'm not worried about that. Galatia is a bit of negative public order right now, not a whole lot. From a food standpoint, they're at 49 food. They have 2 farms that could be improved. So if we improve those, I'm going to go up. So that's an extra 50 food that we get from the wheat farm. And probably an extra, like, what is this one going to be? 15 plus 10, 25 from the sheep pens, but we're also going to get negative public order penalties because of it. Certainly like to have the theater here because it helps spread religious influence as well. That'll make up, that only gives a +3 public order boost right there for the 50 food that it's going to consume. I'm thinking about converting this one over, just in this province, to the amphitheater, because we need the extra public order so that we could eventually build up the gold mine and other stuff. So, and a religious building in the city is what I need there eventually to help build up the gold mine and to be able to upgrade all this and still be able to soak up the minus public order penalties. Because we've got the fishing jetty there that helps make up some of the food, and then we could always have more food by getting rid of this fountain later when we no longer need it. Let's see. Tripolitania, of course, is going to be upset for the time being. Everywhere else is actually doing pretty good. We're kind of even on food right now. It may go negative for a turn or two, but I doubt it because we have 2 fishing jetties coming up. So should be safe here. So yeah, the reason why, like some people ask me why I'm making so much farms and other stuff, well, there's a couple of reasons, and let me explain it real quick. Maybe it's not making sense. It should. I'm not concerned about this amount of food up here. Like, I kind of am. You need to be positive up here in order to not have famine. But obviously I'm way above that mark, and so some people think, well, if you're, as long as you're above 0 here, you're good. That's not necessarily true. In the provinces scroll, you want to be exporting food. If you're not exporting food, like let's say that this little bread was, if it was red, then that means that you are having to import food, and because you're importing it, you get a minus 25% to the economic benefit of that province. So it's a huge hit, especially when you have a province up here making 8,800 per turn. You know, you take 25% of that, and that's over 2,000 talents per turn that you're going to lose if Italia went into the negative with food. So to make sure that each province individually is exporting food, it's going to make this number up here go way high, but that's why I do the food. And on top of that, there's some of these chain buildings when you have good fertility, like this sheep pen. I mean, look at the wealth that I get from the sheep pen. That's the biggest reason why I build it. I also get good food, but 780. And then people, again, you know, asking why I build the farms. Again, if I want this number to be positive and I want to upgrade these buildings, it takes a considerable amount of food to upgrade the buildings, and then that has to be positive. So that's why I do it. It's not just about this number up here. So you got to keep that in mind as you're looking at the upgrades in Attila. I'm not the biggest fan of how this system works, but that's how it works. There's definitely a few things in Attila I would like to change in the way that that functions, but that is just the way that this game works at the moment. So let's see. We have enough growth to put another settlement in here at Narbonensis, sorry. Public order is actually pretty good there right now. Food is stable. We can't do a whole lot else to increase the public order, though, until we were to get a religious building, and I would want to put the religious building here and then see if we can do something different out here. So there wouldn't be any point in putting a religious building out here. We won't need the fountain because we have the sewers and stuff up here. Let's just kind of see how this goes. I mean, we could just put another farm out here so that we can chew up all that food into upgrading to the herbs and the town. That would probably be the best move. So let's go ahead and start upgrading the herbs here as well, because we need to spend a pretty good chunk of money. So we'll upgrade all the town centers in Narbonensis. And that'll eat up a pretty good piece of that money. We have to wait till the next turn in Britannia. Let me look at my agent list here real quick again too. Let's get into the summary. We can recruit another priest. And we might as well. Having one up in Britannia would be pretty helpful. I'm trying to remember the areas where we can recruit priests. We should be able to get them in multiple places now. Radical militarist, +1 zeal, I guess. I don't know. This guy's younger, though. He'll live longer. All right. And he gets an upgrade right off the bat. Can't beat that. Spread religion and inspire populace. We'll go ahead and upgrade that. And then I want this guy to start walking up here, and we'll take him up to Britannia to try and help settle it down, because clearly we're going to have to spread a lot of paganism. Someone wanted me to show the religious map too. That's fine. We'll pull that up here. Should be this one. So here's a map of the religion as it stands right now. So Latin Christianity still trying to hang on, you know, obviously, in this area, but not real strong. I mean, when you look at it, the Greco-Roman paganism is definitely what's on the growth pretty much everywhere. Yeah, paganism 75% here in Tarraconensis and Lusitania. So pretty strong influence of the Roman paganism in my empire as it stands. Now, obviously, it's going to be pretty different up here. Celtic paganism and Arian Christianity and Germanic paganism all playing a pretty hefty role up here at the moment, so very mixed religion. And then over here, you know, you've got your Celtic paganism near 100% in the northern parts of the British Isles there. So yeah, that'll be something for us to overcome eventually. But otherwise, yeah, Greco-Roman paganism definitely taking root. It was taking a little longer in North Africa because it was kind of a stronghold, but it's gonna happen eventually. Semitic paganism, that's interesting. Greco-Roman paganism still pretty strong already over in Libya. That's good to see. Greek Christianity, though, quite strong in the Nile Valley, but with the wipeout of the Eastern Empire, I'm guessing that it's going to drop fairly quick. But yeah, Greek Christianity kind of holding on, and the other empires that look out here, it's just definitely Germanic paganism. Let's see here. And the Roman paganism starting to spread into to Gaul. The influence is being spread, so interesting. That's kind of the religious outlook for someone who wanted to see that. Let's go ahead and let's see. Get into your character immediately. Do we have another character in the chat here or something? All right, so no, we don't have any worshippers of Aethar, unfortunately. If I could switch to like worshipping Aethar's Chosen, of course that's what you'd have to do in Total War Attila, because they're like the godlike unit, basically. I have to keep an eye on time, by the way, too, so that I don't miss my next stream. We still have 20 minutes, so we are good. Got an unassigned skill for this governor. I'd like to lower the corruption rate in the province he governs. And let's go ahead and end the turn and see what happens. I'm going to check out the comments here, see if there's anything I need to answer. Let's see. Religion, it's complicated. There you go, El Presidente. Fortunately, this one's just a game, so we don't have to worry about the effects of it in real life. I really don't want a peace treaty. And if I have to break it in a few turns, it's just going to make me untrustworthy. Yeah, but here they come. Wow. The Caledonians decide to team up on Appius. This was absolutely stupid of them, because if they would have teamed up on Sextus, it would have been a much smarter attack and a lot tougher for me to defend against. But by teaming up on Appius, I'm pretty sure that they've signed their own death warrants here. This is going to be a fun battle. But here Appius gets the chance to try and make a name for himself amongst all the exploits of Sextus, which have definitely taken the front seat. Someone says hi from Turkey Air. Hello. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Sextus for Emperor. You know, I've discussed that. It would be pretty fun to see Sextus as the Emperor, but I have to imagine to myself that Sextus he's a man for the Empire, right? You know, he fights fiercely loyal for the Emperor, so with Flavius having an actual heir out there, Sextus is kind of just filling that seat. He's kind of like the mentor right now is kind of where I see Sextus at. So he probably won't become the Emperor, but he's definitely the Emperor's fist. Huh. So someone's saying that you can arrange a marriage rather than seek a wife. That's interesting. If I remember, I'll try and check that out. All right, let's see. What map do we have? Well, I mean, as long as it's not the stupid. Whoa, I've never seen this one though. We ought to be able to defend the crap out of this. It's kind of small though. Like well, it's also kind of weird. There's like. Oh, okay, no, never mind. I was seeing it wrong. So you got an entrance there, big entrance there, and just a small one there. So yeah, we can just barricade this entrance to try and slow down the AI. They are deploying over here, and I would like to see. there's probably going to be reinforcements coming from everywhere. I definitely want to load up. I'm just going to try and get some of these troops out of the way. I definitely want to load up my Matiari over here where they can just damage the crap out of the incoming armies. The more kill these guys get, the better. Yeah, I just want it to be like an absolute pain rain with the Matiari. And I think we can kill a pretty substantial number of the enemies with just the Matiari. At least if we could, that would be great. I've got a decent amount of cavalry here. We'll definitely hold on to them. Try and save them to take out Onager and then late game threats. I don't have any javelin wielding troops, which could potentially be an issue. Well, I say that. Just the Plumbata troops are usually not as good in a fight, but they are very good when it comes to... I'm going to actually move that shield wall back up here a little. Kind of thinking about doing something like this. Then they're fighting. They're definitely fighting uphill. There we go. And there's certainly no way they can get around my flanks. So we got that. We have this longer area here to cover the entrance of, and we can probably just use 2 Armigeri and shield wall. Let's just make sure they can't get behind my troops right there. So we need to be flush up against all this. There we go. The enemy, let's see, enemy cavalry is just round shield raiders. That does concern me a little bit because they can throw a lot of javelins, and that can be potentially challenging. I might move this Matiari right here, and that gives them a good ability to throw right there. Okay. And in terms of the other infantry back here, let's just put all these guys into the mobile testudo. Just protect them against missiles, and we'll keep an eye on that barrier just to make sure the enemy doesn't pull it down. We will hold these walls or die.
Our gods would never forgive us if the capital were violated by filthy invaders.
The enemy has reinforcements.
We hold to arms.
Appius giving a rousing speech there saying that we would never allow filthy barbarians to touch our lands. I like the way Appius thinks. Alright. The enemy may draw near, but they are not going to be happy when they do. I'm just going to kind of bring these cavalry again. Just keep these cavalry out of the way of the enemy and keep them in a position where we can save them for later in the game. My Matiari definitely going to rip these guys up. I'm going to wait until they're well within range. That way I don't throw the javelins at long range. I want to do maximum damage.
The enemy has laid an ambush.
Okay. Fire at will. We got a nice looking blob right there. Oh yeah. Enjoy yourselves, what the Matiari says. Yes, this is going to be enjoyable for you, no doubt. Just unload every javelin you got, man. So yeah, this is going to end up being kind of a death trap for all the Celtic spearmen. I wish these were the Celtic axes that were coming through here right now, because I'd rather have them dead first, but hey, one more dead Celt here is one less that I have to kill with my Armigeri, and we are getting a tremendous amount of kills right now with the Matiari, which is precisely what I want. I'm going to actually go turn fire at will off, and I'm going to target these Celtic band when they get closer, because again, the sword infantry pose a lot bigger threat to me. So Matiari should be able to hammer these sword infantry real quick. I don't think Celtic band probably have the world's best block chance. So hopefully a little damage here will go a long ways. I'm just going to go fire at will. We'll just let my Armigeri start doing their thing. This Matiari right here is already racked up 239 kills. So we're gonna, this Armigeri right here is gonna get the opportunity to kill a lot of enemies, and then this Matiari should be able to kind of put javelins into the flank. I do want to be careful about how I use my cavalry, because I know that some of these stacks had onagers, and they're going to start to move on to the battlefield kind of as reinforcements slowly over time. So just want to be careful how we handle this. Bring some of those cheap units down there to barricade. So yeah, this Armageddon is getting a lot of kills, though. I mean, it could need reinforcements. Even with the lowered settings that I've put on Attila, we get a heck of a lot of frame lag in these types of battles. Attila just runs so disappointingly bad. I'm hearing rumors, and I say rumors, who actually had a bit of a response from Darren Total War, who actually works for Creative Assembly now. We heard a little bit from him the other day in regards to one of my tweets that gives me hope that Warhammer, because of the 64-bit support, is actually running a little better on the same or similar type hardware that I'm running right now, and I hope that's true. Okay, we are good at the moment. This round shield raider ought to get torn up by this Matiari over here, so that'll be good. We have a lot more enemies inbound, though, so that's again why I'm kind of saving my cavalry for the late game scenario. And if this Matiari starts to get low enough, I will try and replace it with this one that's in behind it and shield wall. I'll retreat it before it gets too late. I'm sure he is. Appius is probably facing the wrong direction for being attacked. We're alright for now. This round shield raider is going to get cut up by javelins. In fact, there's no need. I'm going to stop with the javelins there for the moment. How many kills do we end up here? 284. This one's still throwing 227. 326 on that unit, so the Celtic cavalry, or the round shield raiders, lit the city on fire over here. Alright, I still don't see any onager anywhere on the battlefield, and this big group over here is getting pretty well owned by my Armageddon Defensores. It will be pretty laggy, but I'll zoom up here. Yeah, you can see the Armageddon here driving back wave after wave of Celts. Don't really think the Caledonians have good odds having to fight up against Armageddon in shield wall. Soon, when my research completes, the Armageddon will actually be able to be upgraded. They have a different name because of a mod I'm using, but basically they're going to upgrade into Elite Palatina, and they're going to have vicious stats when it comes to offensive. They lose some health, but they're going to pick up some massive offensive stats, and we've got some inbound problems. Okay, these guys are going to try and cut down the barricades. I just put these few guys up here just to be kind of a distraction and to get a few more kills. I'm going to bring some Armageddon over to support where the barricade's at. Yeah, these Armageddon here just did a spectacular job. 201 kills. I'll remove them from combat once they finish mopping up these last few troops. My cavalry remains hidden back behind these buildings that are on fire. The smoke actually probably give me good cover right now. Matiari, you may fire at will on the inbound troops. That's going to hurt my morale, essentially, is what that's going to do, but I think we'll be alright. Those Celtic cavalry raiders started a pretty big fire, and there's another fire over there and there. I need to get these Armageddon out of combat soon. Probably need to do that now rather than later. We'll see if these little units will rout, and then I can remove them from combat. I'm going to go, do not fire at will. Target the Nordic, well, it's just Nordic Brigade, but whatever. Maybe we can target these javelins here, these Celtic brigands.
Enemy units have rallied and returned to the battle.
Those Celtic brigands might see my cavalry, so I'm going to pull off just a little bit here. Okay, let's get these Armageddon. Let's go ahead and retreat from combat for a moment. Let the second line take over. Okay, Matiari are about to run out of ammo. We should be able to hold strong here in the shield wall. And then we got the shield wall here. Let's see how this is impacting morale. Morale is still quite strong, so And again, just going to hold back with my cavalry. This blob over here is looking like the best blob to hit with cavalry because that is a lot of Celtic band. I'm going to go ahead and start moving in second and third line Armigeri over here where we're going to have the most AI to deal with. And I've still got a couple units in reserve, one here at least. These ones over here won't be necessary because the AI is not going to make the attack, so I can always replace them later. And I have a lot of javelins on these mounted brigands. I say a lot. I was thinking these were the Maori and Equites. They're not, but still we got 7 90 damage javelins. And we'll probably use them. It looks like the AI is going to come around and blob up over here, so we'll come throw the javelins into the back of that blob. Look at the town all burned down here from the Celtic brigs. They're going to be pretty significant damage to the town after this battle. At least the swimming pool survived. Might need to clean some of the algae out of it, but you know, it's looking good. All right. Let's see where this main blob goes. Not really sure where they're going right now. They have more javelin men coming in. Again, we just need to keep an eye out for when the onager comes onto the battlefield. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of these scout equites and just kind of split up across the map in different positions so that we can try and get the onager when it comes onto the battlefield. This spear unit is trying to capture the tower. Once it's out of the way, it'll leave this... Yeah, the city is getting pretty well burnt by all these Celtic raiding units. Now, it looks like the AI is going to turn around and come blob a lot of units here. I'm going to switch to shields and move up here. And then same thing. I'm just going to pile in the Armigeri, just to really make it difficult for the AI to have any chance of getting through this little blockade. Less concerned over here. The Nordic Brigade is going to die in droves, and even the Celtic Warlord will do pretty poorly in this combat. Again, let's just keep our eyes peeled for onager. Less concerned about their javelins. Probably gonna fast forward for a minute. Just kind of force the AI to go ahead and do what it's gonna do. Or else this fight may end up. Yeah, I've only got 5 minutes left before I need to start the other stream. So the fast forward's not even working well though, just due to all the frame lag right now. There's too many AI units on the battlefield. Let's see. Giant blob though needs to just go ahead and get committed and get into the fight. Let's see. You all are talking a little bit about the graphics over in the chat. Yeah, I mean with the 64-bit changes coming in Warhammer, like I said, I'm hoping that the graphics run smoother and do more. I mean, it's still going to be a difficult game to run based on what we're seeing just from the requirements they put out. But again, just hoping that you won't get as bad a frame lag or anything else like that. I mean, it's a hope. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Let's bring...
Enemy forces have destroyed an entire unit.
I don't know what unit that would be, but... Okay, little concerned about all the javelins coming in. That could be a problem. Shield wall does not make you like super immune to javelins. Tons of frame lag at this point. Just gonna move that shield wall into position. Want to make sure we got plenty of troops there because we're getting a big blob. And these onager, I'm going to run them down with my scout equites, and there should be another onager unit coming onto the battlefield that we can kill shortly after. And again, I'm just going to wait to commit these cavalry until the AI has fully committed its infantry. Otherwise, it's going to use them to chase off my cavalry. Let's bring another Armigeri over here. I'm going to put one there just for now. I can always pull it over later. Trying to keep an eye on this Armigeri here. We don't let it get too dead. Okay. The enemy onager is going to bite it. And these troops have almost committed themselves. Kind of thinking about bringing my mounted brigands in from over here and put some javelins into the back of this melee blob. Okay. Onager's going to die. This will be good. Putting a big beat down on the Caledonians like this should make it a guarantee for us to be able to keep Sextus safe. The downside is that this army taking a few losses here. I'm going to try and take on captives. That way I can certainly retrain as fast as possible. Like, retraining is going to be key here, I think. Because if I can retrain quickly and get over to Caledonian, or whatever the name of the next city is that I'm wanting to take, this Armigeri is getting pretty beat up. Let's retreat it. Okay, let the next two Armigeri do that. Let's, those guys are already in mobile. Testudo. Okay, and the Celtic Cavalry Raiders, or whatever these guys are. Let's move up. Fire at will. Precision shot, and the precision shot ought to wreck this little engagement pretty nicely. I need to take this Armigeri and retreat because it's taking a little too much damage. Move up another reinforcer. We'll just kind of do our retreating method here. Hopefully my Celtic Cavalry Raiders are getting some nice kills. They should. We're still taking a lot of losses on the Armigeri over here, but we should be getting ready to deliver rear charges also. Oh yeah, we got a lot of kills with these mounted brigands. The precision shot javelins were pretty decisive there. 84 and 129 kills without ever even engaging in melee combat. Throw all those javelins, please. Yeah, this situation over here is definitely blobfest. But let's try and clear out this one over here first. 105 kills on the mounted brigands at this point. I'm going to do some rear charges here against the different Celtic axe bands and see if we can rout this blob. They're pulling a Celtic band to try and intercept my charges, but pretty sure that this is going to be a pretty decisive action here with the cavalry. That one axe band, though, isn't wavering. I want to chase all these routing units right here. This axe band needs to be attacked, so I'm gonna order the Armigeri down there to attack it to try and help drive it off. The Scout Equite needs to keep its distance from the round shield raiders, and we'll get into the back of that blob soon enough. Celtic axe band is shaken, but it's not wavering, and we got units trying to come back from routing. Just get over here. Let's pull these cavalry out. Definitely want to keep them alive. Did some good damage. How are we doing over here? Armigeri are taking a beating. Let's get some fresh troops over that way. I definitely don't want to lose any of my Armigeri units. Concerns me. These guys in mobile Testudo are soaking up a lot of fire from those javelin men. Part of me is thinking about sacrificing my javelin or Scout Equites into that big blob of javelins, but I kind of ought to wait for the support of my Celtic cavalry here too, who are being chased by the regrouped units. Come out over here, please. Over here, please. Let's just kind of get lined up to trap a lot of those javelin men. Move up these Armigeri. Let's get these guys out of shield wall and flank charge this Celtic Axe Band. I don't want them to get a flank charge on my Armigeri here. Okay, I want to make sure we trap those skirmishers, so I'm trying to bring my Celtic Cavalry Raiders all the way around. This big blob over here is starting to get shaky. I probably have a few arrows. We can bring these units over and use the flaming arrows that they have if they get there in time. Let's leave one right here, and let's put the other one over here. We're getting close to being able to finish this game off. Let's bring our Mattiari over here too to help take care of routing units. This Celtic Axe Band's putting up a far better fight than it should. Okay, I'm gonna chase these skirmishers. I'm trying to give them no place to run. So if they go this way, they get caught by my Scout Equites. They get caught by the Mounted Brigands coming from the other direction, so... There we go. Alright, now the rear charge by the Scout Equites should be pretty decisive. I'm going to turn off the Javelins because I don't want to hit my own cavalry. I'm going to pull these Mounted Brigands through here and try and sacrifice them as a rear charge on this blob. We've caught all those skirmishers. They ought to die pretty easily. There's a Celtic Warlord here that I'd like to kill. So I'm going to bring the Mounted Brigands in and charge it. Don't know if we'll do a lot of damage though because Mounted Brigands are pretty light. But getting rid of this giant skirmisher blob that still had Javelins, that's pretty critical. Because these guys could have caused a lot more death and destruction. Let's try and go overwhelm that Celtic Warlord. Okay, we lost our cavalry there, but the rest of our cavalry here should be sufficient on a mop-up action. There's a whole bunch of routing enemy units here, and then this last enemy warlord is wavering. So the army of Appius here making a pretty heroic stand as a nice finish to this episode. Yeah, the flaming arrows did not get used. They probably should have. I'm going to use them right here, though. Still trying to run down all these units. We're about to get hit by javelins off that Nordic brigade, so that's unfortunate. Let's bring this... that Mattiari took quite a bit of damage. All these units have routed, though. Let's bring all these Armigeri down here and rear charge these swords, get them off the battlefield. Let's bring in these Mounted Brigands, try and mop up routing units. We'll try and mop up the routing warlord as well. There we go. We got more Armigeri coming in. We're chasing routing units. I don't think we should lose any of our Armigeri. We need to attack that Celtic levy. And we should have killed most of the Celts at this point. Let's try and run down the general real quick, and then we should be good. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Any questions in the chat real quick before I sign off? I do need to sign off. I'm already 6 minutes past for my next stream, so hope y'all enjoyed this one, though. I do have to get out of here and save the game, and then make sure to join me on Total War Attila. We're going to be doing some battles in the Age of Charlemagne. Should be a lot of fun. So let's just see here if we can finish off this Celtic Warlord. At least I had hoped we would, but it's taking too long, so whatever, just end the battle. Good job, Appius. The army of Appius standing strong here. I can't wait until I get the upgrades done, too. I want to turn the generals into the Comes general, and eventually, obviously, Magister Militum would be great, but huge number of kills there for the army for Appius. And again, don't think we should lose any units, and then if I take on captives, we should be able to quickly replenish. Yeah, did not lose any units. That's spectacular. That's exactly what we wanted. We can get 10% of our units back. So we'll take on warriors. So the Caledonians push back with heavy losses. I am a bit concerned about how many troops the Abdonians may have in play up here. Could be a lot. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this episode. HeirofCarthage signing out for this stream, and I will see you on the next live stream. Come back and join me for that in Total War Attila. See you then.